Hello, my name is Natasha Bijelich, and I'm the Assistant Director of International Student Recruitment at the University of Toronto. I'd like to thank HSBC for having us be a part of this seminar on overseas education and the effects of COVID-19. Much like the rest of the world, COVID-19 has affected Canada, although we were quick to heed the advice of our public health officials, and the spread of the disease here has been slower than in other countries around the world. In mid-March, universities across Canada, including the University of Toronto, had to adapt pretty quickly to offering online classes for the remainder of the semester and to working from home. Most of us were able to do this rather seamlessly thanks to the hard work of faculty and staff across our institutions, and we are continuing this work remotely right now. This time of year, of course, fell right in the middle of our admission cycle. Most universities were able to shift their work online and continue to process applications through the spring without delaying the process for our students. In many cases, we're able to consider current high school applicants for conditional offers of admission because those are typically based on final results from previous years and in-progress results from their final year. So many of us had already received the required documents and could continue the process pretty seamlessly. As the academic year progressed and educational jurisdictions adjusted their evaluation methods, maybe canceled or postponed final exams, universities in Canada have exercised a high degree of flexibility, with either accepting these adjusted methods as a student's final results or changing deadline dates for final documents, knowing there may be delays. We are accepting these adjusted methods and delayed results without issue to meet the conditions of an offer of admission. What we're really trying to do is our best to reassure students and their families that students are not going to be disadvantaged because of these circumstances out of their control. At the time of this recording, many students have received these conditional offers of admission and may have already made their choices for the fall. Institutions across Canada have committed to the start of the school year in September and are listening to the advice of local, provincial, and federal governments, as well as public health officials, to determine the reality of what that looks like. COVID-19 has affected parts of Canada differently. There are some provinces and cities that have been harder hit by the virus and others that have seen only a few infections. The reopening of the country will really be different across our provinces and even within the cities within each province. Some universities have already committed to in-person classes for September, while others have decided to go fully online. Many of us are also looking at a hybrid model with some larger lectures online that could be synchronous or asynchronous for students in different time zones, and smaller in-person learning opportunities on our campuses. If students have any questions, they should be following up with individual institutions for updates on the fall, as the situation is continually evolving and differently across the country. We've also put our minds to our junior students looking to enter in September 2021. Many of us have already reached out this spring to offer information sessions virtually and are doing our best to keep counselors and students updated on any changes or updates being made for the next application cycle. Much like our incoming students this year, we really want to ensure our junior students that they will not be disadvantaged in the admissions process, again, for circumstances beyond their control. And as we did for this year, we will accept those adjusted assessment methods in the admissions cycle next year going forward. Canada continues to be a popular destination for international students for many reasons, including the quality of our education system, the celebration of diversity and multiculturalism, which leads to a transformative student experience on our campuses, and the ability to gain valuable work experience both during their studies and through the generous postgraduate work program. Armed with this information and Canada's response to COVID-19, we are hoping that students are confident in making their decision to choose a Canadian university for their post-secondary education. We do have a few pieces of advice for graduating students. The first one being to begin the study permit application as soon as possible. With visa application centers closed in many places, students can begin their applications online and get in the queue when the centers reopen if they need to complete their applications in person where required. While study permits are not required for online classes, if a university reopens in person for the second term, for example, students will want to ensure they have the appropriate paperwork in order to travel to Canada. The second piece of advice is to take advantage of any supplementary learning material offered by universities online over the summer. We have heard some concern from both students and counselors that with the way the academic year ended, students feel that they may not be as well prepared for their first year of studies as they might have been in a regular school year. Many of us are offering online learning academies where students can brush up on their academics before starting their courses with us in the fall so that they are best prepared for their studies. And the last piece of advice is to stay in touch. All of our universities and admission staff are working from home and are available to students and families. We are doing the best to be proactive, reaching out with updates when we have them, updating our websites with new information as decisions are made. So we are here as a resource for students and their families, and we are really happy to help. So with that, once again, I'd like to thank HSBC for having us be a part of this great virtual information session, and I'd like to thank you for watching and wish you all the best.